June is about to deliver a feast of exciting new games and hardware, so here's a rundown of the best that we've got to look forward to. Nintendo kicked June off in style with the release of the hugely anticipated Nintendo Switch 2. This time it's a more powerful piece of kit that delivers better graphics, higher frame rates, higher pixel density, HDR support and a bigger 7.9-inch screen, although it's an LCD, not an OLED. The internal storage gets a hefty boost at 256GB, and there's an additional USB-C port on the top to enable charging whilst in tabletop mode, and there's a built-in mic for voice chat. Nintendo continue their trend of innovations with the new magnetic and quick-release Joy-Cons, plus there's a new mouse control feature which games like Dragon Drive will showcase later in the year. The Switch 2 launches with a whole host of new games and some Switch 2 versions, ranging from the absolutely should be free Welcome Tour game to probably the most exciting release, which is Mario Kart World. This game looks awesome. Visually, there's so much more detail and it looks incredible. And there's lots of new stuff here with the dynamic weather, rail slides, and now vehicles can transform into planes and boats. Night racing looks fab, and then you've got the whole open world aspect where you can drive anywhere. There's also a knockout tour mode where you race across the globe as you head through multiple checkpoints, which kind of sounds like Outrun, but maybe with less magical sound showers. But is there enough here to justify the hefty price tag? Let me know in the comments if you've ordered one and what you're looking forward to playing. Mindseye is a new single-player action thriller from former Grand Theft Auto producer Leslie Benzies. Set in the near-future desert city of Red Rock, you play as Jacob Diaz, a former soldier fitted with a neural implant that haunts him with memories of a covert mission that changed everything. Now Jacob must fight to uncover the truth in a tale of power and corruption, and luckily for us, that means a whole heap of noisy combat in a tech-filled world of robots, guns, cars and drones. Expect intense gunfights, white-knuckle car chases, massive explosions, and there's even some aerial combat for good measure. This game oozes action, and whilst it's impossible to avoid the GTA comparisons, the high-tech, high-octane setting looks set to deliver an adrenaline-filled experience. Things get spicy with Dune Awakening, a huge-scale open-world survival MMO set in the iconic Dune universe. The story begins as you're sent to the planet Arrakis to unravel the mystery of the Fremen's disappearance. In the game, you'll explore a vast world where you can climb, drive, and fly across Arrakis using ornithopters and sandbikes. But you'll need to adapt quickly to the brutal desert environment with its scorching sun, sandstorms, and even sandworms. Hunt for spicy secrets, build bases, play politics, and engage in deadly battles alongside or against other players, all wrapped up in a cinematic storyline. When you're done, head on back to the social hubs to trade and chill. Discover the true meaning of desert power as you rise through the ranks, plus each week storms reshape the desert, revealing new locations and rewards to discover. The game launches on PC, but console versions are planned. Dune is ramping up the spice levels even more with the release of eye-popping action game Stellar Blade, which finally comes to PC, along with updates for the original PS5 version. Set in a distant post-apocalyptic future where humans have fled the Earth after a war with the monsters called Naytiba, you play as Eve, an often conservatively dressed member of the 7th Airborne Squad, sent to Earth to eliminate the Naytiba and help reclaim the planet. The game boasts gorgeous visuals and superb combat, and with the PC release has some new tricks up its sleeve. The PC version will get some performance enhancing features such as unlocked frame rates, better graphics, plus DLSS and FSR features. It'll have ultra-wide support, and if you have a DualSense controller, you'll be able to enjoy the haptic feedback and adaptive triggers. And as some extra sauce for good measure, the game will come with 25 new costumes and a new boss fight. What's great is that the costumes and the boss battle will be coming to the PS5 version in a free update. With a title like The Alters, my fear of commitment had me thinking this game could be some kind of frightening marriage sim, but actually it's about survival in space, so that's a big relief. Jandolski is a lone survivor of an expedition that crash-landed on a hostile planet. To survive, he needs a crew for his mobile base, and using Rapidium, he manages to craft alternate versions of himself, each one from a different path of his life that never existed. You play as Jan and explore the hostile planet, gathering resources for crafting, but venturing outside is literally no walk in the park as you encounter deadly anomalies and radiation from the sun. Okay, it does sound a bit like the park. Anyway, each altar brings with it unique skills and emotional traits that you'll need to delicately manage to establish an effective crew. Expect an emotional journey beset with moral dilemmas and choices that truly impact your game and lead you to multiple outcomes and endings. Great news is that Altars is also a day one Xbox and PC Game Pass title. Exclusively on PS5 and PC is a new installment in the Five Nights at Freddy's game series called Secret of the Mimic. Prepare yourself for jump scares and heart-pumping tension as you step inside the abandoned workshop of Murray's Costume Manor. A Fazbear contractor by the name of Edwin Murray is missing, and you've been tasked with retrieving a piece of technology he was developing, a prototype endoskeleton capable of becoming any character. Unfortunately for you, the tech might be malfunctioning and a serious threat to your health. Explore the dark corners of the labyrinthian deserted manor, elude the monster, and survive the madness. As a prequel, the game delves into the Mimic's creation, and I've seen enough FNAF YouTuber playthrough videos to know that this will no doubt be a massive hit with fans of the series. The FBC HQ is all covered in hiss, and it's down to a band of volunteers, aka Firebreak, to strap on a gnome launcher ASAP and eliminate the threat. Make sense? Good. This 3-player co-op first-person shooter is set after the events of Control, and your job as a specialist unit of soldiers called Firebreak is to protect the Bureau from an assault of otherworldly monsters and sticky notes. There are hordes of nasties in there that you need to clean up, but you'll have a massive range of specialised tools and insane weaponry at your disposal. Build your loadouts called crisis kits to suit your strategy and restore order to the chaos inside the oldest house. Now, any game that features ridding the world of sticky notes is a winner in my book, and if they could just throw in the destruction of Teams meetings, it would be my game of the year. And there's more good news in that it's another day one Xbox and PC Game Pass game. Rematch is a fast-paced Rocket League style 5v5 football game from the makers of Sifu. You control one player within the team and challenge opposing teams to a game of insane arcade-style arena footy, where you can even rebound the shots off the walls. There are no player stats, which means it's all down to skill and strategy, and it's non-stop action as the clock never stops. There's a competitive mode, and there'll be seasonal content with new modes and cosmetics, which would make you think that this is a free-to-play title, and it isn't. It's a day one Game Pass game, which is great news for some, but outside of that, it's a £20 or $30 purchase, which given the stench of microtransactions feels a little off, but time will tell. Anyways, this does look like a cool twist on the football genre, although I guess I was hoping for something a bit more like Shaolin Soccer given the studio's history. The month draws to a close with the hugely anticipated Death Stranding 2 from the legend himself, Hideo Kojima. We're back in the shoes of Sam 11 months after the events of the first game on a new journey to save humanity from extinction, this time beyond the United Cities of America. Once again, you'll be faced with planning your routes, crossing the harshest and most beautiful terrain, whilst carefully managing your cargo to complete your missions, all whilst avoiding or engaging in deadly encounters. The world looks absolutely incredible, and the character design is just top tier, and you can expect an awe-inspiring soundtrack to accompany you through the vast landscapes. It's a PS5 exclusive, so this really does feel like the ideal opportunity for Sony to try and tempt new players with the PS5 Pro. It'll be interesting to see how well the game leverages the Pro's power and whether it really elevates the experience enough to convince people to buy one. And I include myself in that as someone who's been on the fence about getting one for a while. The recent trailer was simply exceptional, and I've no doubt this game will be full of surprises, epic characters, and Kojima quirkiness, and I cannot wait to play what looks set to be a hugely cinematic, emotional, and rewarding experience. Okay, well, as ever, there are just way too many games to play right now, but let me know in the comments which ones you like the look of. Personally, I'm still finishing Expedition 33, which is easily my favourite game of the year so far. It really is a masterpiece. Anyways, as always, thanks for watching, take it easy, and I'll catch you soon.